Welcome, gamers from around the globe. You've dropped into the best place for Game Pass news. That's right, it's the Game Pass Tracker Show. This is episode 141, recorded live, I tell you, Thursday, February 22nd. I'm Nick Metzger here with the best dang co-host a guy could ever have, Mr. Sean Abbott himself. We're going to fill your brains with all this week's bits and bobs of Xbox. Like, we got a new tranche of games. Can't wait to talk about that. Phil sits down with Sarah and Matt Booty to talk about the future of games. Obviously hitting on that for sure. And oh, do we have exclusives? Microsoft exclusives going to Nintendo? Sure do. You better sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass Tracker Show is one crazy ride.
Hey, diddly doodly, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the show. We just want to welcome you to your favorite Xbox Game Pass podcast, the Game Pass Tracker Show. You can find us on pretty much every social networking app that's out there, and we have just surpassed 5,000 followers on Threads. So make sure if you are a follower of us on Threads, you check that out because there is a giveaway happening. Everything is at Game Pass Tracker. If you have any thoughts, any questions, do not hesitate to shout out to us. You can send us an email, show@gamepasstracker.com. And if you are liking what you're hearing, we would love to hear that from you. So you can leave us a review, leave some stars on your podcast app of choice. It really helps us grow and really helps us reach more fans like yourself. And we wouldn't be a Game Pass Tracker. We wouldn't be a Game Pass show if we didn't talk about Phil and the crew themselves over at Xbox Game Pass. If you love Game Pass and you love our show and you want to show us support, head to the link in the description and sign up to Game Pass at the xbox.com website. You'll not only be supporting us, the Game Pass Tracker Show, but you'll also be signing up to the best gaming subscription out there, Xbox Game Pass. So sign up to whatever level you desire, PC Game Pass, Core, or Game Pass Ultimate. Just play your own way by using the code in the chat or in the show notes, and you can help us create more amazing content for you guys out there, our amazing fans. So without much more chatting about everything that we love and everything that we have, let's head over to the Game Pass headlines.
It's the Game Pass headlines. We're talking about what is out this week, folks. I'm going to tell you in just a second once I get there. For sure, it's going to happen. Return to Grace. We started with Return to Grace. A daring space archaeologist has just unearthed the ancient resting place of a long-lost AI god known as, well, Grace. Adventure with various fractured AI personalities as you uncover the great mystery of why she has shut down all those years ago in the first-person narrative adventure set in a visually stunning 60s retro sci-fi world. And as most things are these days, it's available everywhere. Next, we have Tales of Arise, also available everywhere. As two worlds of conflict converge in Tales of Arise, two people from opposite walks of life join forces to challenge their fates and create a new future. Along the way, meet up with unique cast of allies, all with their own reasons to fight, featuring a long-time combat system. Battles are energetic and enthralling and countless combinations of skills and abilities. Then, February 22nd, that's today, folks, Bluey, the video game, available everywhere. Join the fun with Bluey and her family in Bluey the Adventure, the video game. Play a brand new story set across 4 interactive adventures. For the first time ever, explore iconic locations such as Healer House, Playgrounds, Creek, and a bonus beach location. Play your favorite games from the TV show, including Keepy Uppy, Chattermax Chase, and more. And then also we got a surprise drop of Dead Island 2. It's a game about zombies that Sean can tell you more about. This is a great segue to Sean.
Yeah, so Dead Island 2 is it's basically a version of Dying Light. If you've ever played that game, minus all the parkour action. First person zombie survival horror type game where you're collecting items which you can then use to craft and make your weapons better while enjoying smashing in the skulls of lots of dead zombies. There is a great storyline to this. You get to play as 4 or 5 different characters, all with unique strengths and weaknesses. And if you enjoyed Dead Island, the first one, like I did, go ahead and try this. I'm going to talk about it more in the dashboard later on because I have been playing it before we started this evening.
Awesome.
So moving into what is out next week, Maneater returns. So if you ever had the craving to be a shark that would eat people and other animals and smash things with its head, go play this game. It's returning to the Game Pass library. Maneater is a single-player action RPG set in the Gulf Coast, unforgiving waters, fight to survive in the open ocean, swamps, rivers, and with danger lurking at every depth. Your only tools are your wits, your jaws, and an uncanny ability to evolve as you feed. I have played this game. I believe we've got a video of me playing this game, possibly on what was the Game Pass News YouTube channel. So you can go there and check that out. I will try my hardest at some point to try and get back to this and maybe do another stream. But it's a fun game. If you've ever, like I said, if you've ever wanted to go and play as a shark, go play this game. You'll enjoy it. So that's February 27th. That's coming everywhere. And then Madden NFL 24 is coming to the cloud via EA Play. I mean, I've only just got into the NFL this year. Thoroughly enjoyed the match, the Super Bowl, and have a feeling that I am going to be into this big time. It's become a massive talking point at home as well as with a couple of guys at work. But Ultimate members can start their season with the Xbox Cloud Gaming on February 27th, 2024, courtesy of EA Play. Don't forget that. Until March 8th, you'll also score an Ultimate Team Supercharge pack with your membership. So there are some perks to getting this early on Cloud. So go give it a go. And then, obviously, up until the 8th of March, if you do that, you'll also get some added bonuses as well. Coming February 28th, Invisible. This is coming to everywhere. And this is also another game that's making the return to the Game Pass library. Immerse yourself in a fantastical world with dozens of playable characters, a rich storytelling experience and gameplay that's easy to learn but difficult to master, with a huge fantasy world to explore and variety of characters to meet and fight alongside. You can help Gina. AJNA. It's really hard. Why do I always get the ones with the really hard pronunciations? So anyway, help her learn about herself and how to save her world. I can't remember this either coming to Game Pass originally or leaving. So it's interesting. February 29th, coming also to everywhere, like Nick alluded to earlier. We seem to be getting a lot of these that are coming to everywhere. It's Space Engineers, a sandbox game about engineering, construction, exploration, and survival in space on planets. Players will build spaceships, wheeled vehicles, space stations, planetary outposts of various sizes and uses, civil and military, pilot ships, and travel through space to explore planets and gather resources to survive, featuring both creative and survival mode. So you've got that whole Minecraft kind of esque play where you can go and just do your own thing and build as much crazy stuff as you want, or you can make it really hard for yourself and survive. There is no limit to what you can be, to what can be built, utilized, and explored.
Sweet. That's what's out this week. What's out next? What's coming soon? Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. It's going to be out everywhere. It's out March 5th, or will be out March 5th. Diablo 4 is coming to Game Pass on March 28th, which we talked about. And I was trying to look it up, but Lightyear Frontier, which I'm personally excited for, is coming in March as well. So coming real soon. There you go. It's all I could find.
Yeah, that's there as well at the moment. Lightyear Frontier is there currently to download as well and make available. So.
I can't wait. Okay, anyways, and so that's what's coming soon. Those are the new Game Pass game announcements. Sean, what is leaving, sir?
So really quickly before I go into what is leaving, we always look at the perks every time we come around and things like that. We get like this nice hot drop of games from Xbox. They always seem to drop like a couple of perks at the back. If you're like me and you can sometimes find obviously all the pressures and stuff of life, if you're a dad and you've got to work and all the responsibilities you have, if you feel like that can sometimes get on top of you, you can claim a 3-month trial offer with a really cool app, which I have personally used in the past to help me, which is Calm. So you can get a premium 3-month trial offer for that. It helps with guided meditation for sleep, guided meditation for relaxing, guided meditation for just de-stressing, decompressing. And there's also now 2, including so you can get 2 Xbox themed soundscapes from Halo and Sea of Thieves. So go give that a try. It is great. Life can be really stressful and quite serious. But it's a great app. I've used it before. I've also used Headspace, but you don't get we're talking about Calm because you can get a 3-month free trial with your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. So
yeah. I'm gonna do that. I actually did not know. I did not know about this at all. You just taught me something. I didn't know this was a thing you could do. And now I want to.
It's really. We used when Lindsay was giving birth to Logan. Bit of a squirrel moment in this here. When she was giving birth to Logan, we did a lot. We went to a guided meditation class, and it's the only time I've ever been in a room full of adults who laid on the floor listening to somebody talk, and everybody fell asleep. It was amazing. Guided and it really opened us up to guided meditation stuff. So if we both, me and Lindsay, if we both really struggle, sometimes we will put something on that which helps us do the guided meditation. Then it'll be we'll wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and be like, I don't even remember falling asleep. This is great.
And so the Game Pass perk is 3 free months of this Calm that has these guided meditations on.
Yep.
So there you go. You can go play some crazy ass game like Doom, and then go do a guided meditation so that you can actually fall asleep after playing it. Yeah.
To the sounds of the Halo soundscapes, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't understand how the Sea of Thieves soundscapes will work in that, but anyway. Maybe next week you can tell us.
Yeah, I might just
in the pie chat.
Anyway, Sean, what's leaving?
Anyway, what is leaving? So we're leaving February 29th. Madden NFL 2022 is leaving everywhere via the EA Play, which makes sense because 2024 is coming, and I think 2023 is already there. So you've got a selection of Madden NFL games to play. And Soul Hackers 2, that's also leaving everywhere. So that's both those games are leaving by February 29th.
So what do you think about all this new announcement, these new tranche of games, Sean?
There's a lot. There is a lot to play. I would love to have a go at playing Bluey. I've always wanted to watch it, but my youngest, like Logan, is now a little bit too old for Bluey. Oh, that's what he says anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to play that. There's a lot of traction going on online when they drop this placard of games on X. A lot of people in the comments were saying that, like, why can't we have Bolt Gun any sooner? So people are looking forward to that. Maneater is a solid game to return. It was fun. It was kind of just a little bit crazy, and I couldn't quite get my head around it completely the first time. But it was a lot of fun to play. And then Space Engineers, I think Space Engineers would be a pretty good game for you to hone into the whole sandbox style game.
I will certainly give it a go. I'm a bit worried. I was excited about Hard Space Breaker. I don't know. I think all four of those words are in the title in some form. I was excited about that game, and it was a little too minutia for me. Like, I was like, okay. So, not that it's a bad game. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I'm a little worried that this is going to have that same minutiae type thing. But yeah, you've pegged it that I will certainly give it a try, and I will give an honest update on what I think of it once I do that. So yeah, Space Engineers, that'll be a docket game for me when we get to that point. Also, on a totally doesn't matter, but I thought it was interesting. I didn't realize Bluey was a girl. Didn't know that was a thing. It's a she. Didn't know.
No, that went over my head as well. I was like, really?
Yeah. So
I love the theme song. I just there's so much about that program, like the stuff that it hits on, like the hidden messages in stuff. There's a whole following and law for like spotting long dogs and stuff like that in episodes and stuff. So
yeah, I think it's a good group of games we got coming out. You know, it's a wide berth, a lot of different stuff for a lot of different people. So that's always what you want. Not every one of these games is probably going to be for you, but I'd be hard pressed that you couldn't find something coming out in this stuff that you might be interested in. Anyways, I did miss my cue. Sorry about that. So Sean was talking about games leaving. And if you're interested in any of those games leaving, Madden NFL 22 or Soul Hackers 2, you have until February 29th to beat them or buy them for 20% with your Game Pass sub. Work hard to beat NFL 22 in the next 8 days.
Yeah, that's a lot of gameplay.
So on to the X feed, Sean.
Sorry, I was reading something then and completely missed my cue. Sorry.
I was like, I don't think he's into it. I don't think he's gonna say his part. He's just like sitting there. He's like, I'm done. I can try to do it for you in like a UK voice, you know, like no, I'd slaughter it and we'd lose any listeners we probably had. So I'm not gonna do that.
So sorry. So remember, if you are looking for any information on all the information about what's coming, what's going, what's hot in the world of Xbox Game Pass, you can find all that information out on our X channel, which is at Game Pass Tracker. Or if you just want to know dates and have links to games and videos so you can see them what they're like, head over to GamePassNews.com and use our website to find all that information.
Sounds great. On to the X feed. Hits the X feed, where we talk about the top stories, news bulletins, and we end with a feature story, which I think you can kind of figure out what the feature story will be. But before we get to that, the feature. First, Xbox Cloud Gaming now accounts for at least 10% of overall Xbox playtime, which, I don't know, isn't super surprising since it's pretty much every game comes to xCloud now. In fact, I was just talking to you. I don't think Madden's ever been an xCloud game until this year. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. And it makes... I'm not 100% well, Madden NFL, well, did we not just say that it's leaving console and PC for 2022, and I'm not sure about 2023. But yeah, that is a pretty good
I'm looking it up.
I'm just looking now.
Oh, we're all looking at.
So you can get there first.
Yeah. So, but I mean, so I guess my point is, I am not surprised because everything's coming to xCloud now, and so I guess 10%. I think it's interesting. I mean, if you look at it, you have Xbox, you have console, PC, and XCloud. Those are your three. So I mean, technically, you would think it would be closer to 33%, right? But we know that not that many people stream, so it's hitting around 10% of what you would think of a fair 33%. So I
Yeah.
think that's
So
cool.
now Madden
Go ahead.
Madden has managed. It's got xCloud save capabilities, but not able to play via the xCloud. So, but yeah,
Uh,
I agree. This it doesn't surprise me. Like I am playing games like I'd probably give Bluey a go via the cloud. Things
sure.
like that. I would go for those kind of games. Maneater would be one that I'd have possibly play by cloud. I know I've playing Fortnite a little bit via the cloud just because I want to try and grab some skins and stuff like that. But then when you get into your bigger games like Diablo, Dead Island, which is quite a fast-paced game, I would probably steer away from playing on those via the cloud, just because it's just difficult to, you fast-paced games don't always run the best via the cloud.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I think? Cloud games are great, but what I think you really have to watch out for is the games like Sea of Stars. Those games that don't allow you to save immediately, right? So like
Yeah,
Sea of Stars, you had to get to a book, as I recall. I only played a few hours of it, but it was like that was a problem for me. I initially thought, oh, I'm just gonna play this on cloud and I'll be good with that. But it was like, well, if I wasn't near a book, obviously if you're on cloud, you don't have the ability to do the resume, and so it doesn't work. Like, or it does, but you have to save first. And if you don't have time to get to a save before you have to exit out, then you lose all your stuff. So you're right. Fast-paced games or games that don't just autosave are not ideal xCloud games, to be honest.
no. And I mean, our Game Pass Tracker social account actually did a poll of people asking people if they played, if they use the xCloud, and a lot of people in that said no. I can't remember the exact results for it, but a lot of people said no. I was one of the people that said yes because I do use it. I use it quite often if I want to dabble, even on the Xbox. If I would just want to dabble in a game and see if it's something that I'll enjoy, I won't sit there and wait for it to download, especially if it's like 10, 11 gig, because I could be
Yeah.
sat there for like half an hour
Yeah.
waiting. So I'll fire it up on the cloud. It's pretty much fast access. It's because it is a great service for that. I'll play it a little bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I like this game. Then I'll set it downloaded while I continue to play it via the cloud because they allow us to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a really really good service for that. And then the fact that, like you say, most games now have that autosave feature, so you can go away with it, and it uses the whole xCloud thing, so you can play on the move. It's automatically saving. You come back to your console, the cloud sync up, and which, depending on your internet access, is pretty instant. You don't even notice it happening, and then just carry on where you left off. It's almost like the whole Switch thing, where you can be playing on your backbone via your phone.
Mm-hmm.
The autosave features worked. You think like, oh, I'm going to go play this actually on the TV. You can turn xCloud off, turn your Xbox on, and then carry on from your last, autosave.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say that I'm not surprised that the number is rising because I can tell you that I have been recently, when I jump on, I have a line. Not a long line, not a super long wait. I don't think I've ever waited more than like 5 minutes, but there is a wait for me to like get in the server thing. And I have said this once before. I can't remember how long ago, but stop showing me, I don't know any way to say it, the rocket penis, and let me do something fun. Okay? Like, if you're going to make me wait 5 minutes to get into my freaking game, let me play something. Like, put old school Pong, or I don't care, anything on the screen that I can goof around with while I'm waiting. Like, this does not seem difficult. This seems like something that somebody should have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. So,
Was it Ridge Racer Revolution in the past that when the game was loading, you played Pac-Man for a little bit because it was Bandai Namco?
yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Let me fly the rocket around or something. I don't know. Like, let me do something. I just don't get it. But whatever. Maybe that would take too much thought from the servers or something to make that happen.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't seem.
I mean, even Google has it when you don't get internet access or something doesn't work. You can play that T-Rex game where you have to jump over stuff.
Yes, do
as simple
anything,
as that.
Yeah, do anything like that. Like, it's just dumb to be like, yeah, you got 5 minutes here. You just watch this rocket fly in one direction forever, and it's just, I don't know, whatever. So that's my only complaint there. But other than that, yeah, it's a great service. I am not. Have you ever played a game to completion on it, Sean?
I would say I've played a game from start to finish in full completion, but I completed 80% of Wreckfest via the cloud.
Okay. I'm trying to think. The only game that I can think of, and I might be getting the name wrong, I think it's 12 minutes. I don't know if that's the right name or not. Yeah. It was quite a while ago, but you could beat it pretty quick. It was a game where you came in and you got like attacked immediately, and it was kind of like a narrative story roguelite. That is the only game I've ever completed on xCloud. Other than that, I use it as like a sampler, basically, to be like, do I want to download this? Which I think is what they want, right? Because if you play too long, or not too long, but if you play for quite a while, what do they tell you? If you're on the console, at least. On the console, they're like, hey, do you want to download this? Because, you've been playing for a while, so just thought you might want to download it. Just hit the button if you want to download it, which is what I think they want you to do. So maybe I'm using it exactly how Xbox intends or hopes. Bruce has a great point here. How long is xCloud going to be in beta? Like,
yeah. Well, is it in beta or on the console?
I thought it was beta, but I could be wrong.
Okay. It goes, yeah, I'd have to look into that. But yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. Even in the Xbox podcast, they didn't really allude to that change happening soon. So, but I'm just like, it's growing arms and legs and it's getting bigger. More people are using it. Most games are now becoming available to it. So,
well, that's old.
Yeah. When will it move away from that?
Yeah,
it makes sense to do it soon.
I was trying to figure. Oh yeah, Xbox.com, xCloud Gaming beta on Xbox.com. So Xbox is still considering it in beta. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's an easy way. Yeah, on their main site it says Cloud Gaming and then it has beta. I think it's an easy way when there's hiccups or snafus for a company to be able to be like, it's just beta. I mean, we're still working on the bugs. Give us a break, okay? I mean. Maybe it's just be that way forever.
Yeah, just fair point. Yeah. Well, it's maybe as they get closer to having more dedicated servers. So, like you said, the wait time they can kind of say because it's a beta, we don't have as many dedicated servers, so people do have to wait. They can get away with that. But I'm assuming as it gets bigger and they push it more, that they will probably, dedicate more hardware servers for that purpose. Maybe.
Yeah, I could see that. All right. Well, that's enough about xCloud. We're done with you, xCloud. 10% people using it. We're one of them, but not all the time. Multiple games announced for Xbox following the Nintendo Partner Showcase. But none of them for Game Pass, correct, at this moment? So,
Another Crab's Treasure is the only one at the moment.
But still, my heart, I was excited about that one. I didn't even know that. Freaking A. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I will be playing that game.
I would love the Epic Mickey to come to Game Pass as well. Yeah. As well as the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. But I can't see that happening.
Yeah, probably not. But so would our good friend Bruce, I bet. So here's the 7 games. Contra, Disney, Epic, Mickey. These are games that were announced on Nintendo's Partner Showcase, but are also coming to Xbox. Not Game Pass, just Xbox. Contra, Operation Galaga, Disney, Epic, Mickey, Rebrushed, Penny's Big Breakaway, That game has me kind of like, maybe. Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance, sure. Star Wars Battlefront, and Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. The one that's coming to Game Pass is, as Sean said, another Crab's Treasure, which is like the colorful Dead Souls. Why can I think? Can't think of the name. Dark Souls game? Like? I don't know. Anyways, whatever. It's the really hard game that you play as a crab, but it's colorful, but it's hard, and you got to find things to put over your butt to protect you. There you go. Now I've said it.
Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring.
Yes, it's Dark Souls, right? Right? Someone say yes. Just put me out of my misery. Somebody just take the shot.
I agree.
So there you go. So not everything is all for Nintendo that was on the partner showcase. That's what we're trying to get at. Sean, what are the Xbox fans disappointed about? I'm confused.
So there's 2 games that are coming out from Capcom and Bandai Namco that the Game Pass people were kind of really hoping would come to Xbox and Game Pass because it's going to other platforms. So they were really hoping that this it would come to it. One of them is Capcom's Monster Hunter Stories. Would have been an absolute treat to get on Game Pass because it's the whole. Let me get this right. The whole eastern side of things, like they've been making games more available for people in China, and that's the eastern side of the world. So Monster Hunter Stories is a big game that's getting a lot of traction out there for that. I think it's coming to Nintendo, it's coming to Steam, it's coming to PlayStation, but it's not coming to any of the Xbox platforms, which is what people were really upset about. And then Bandai Namco's Gundam Evolution 4 is the second game, and people were like, "Why aren't these coming to the Xbox platforms? You're trying to work really hard with Eastern companies, to bring games for those." Out there that like those style of games. We're getting the whole Final Fantasy that's coming. What was the one in the developer direct that people were really excited for? That eludes me.
Yeah, it was the one that's not coming. I can't think of it either. But there's
it was a surprise drop. It was the one that just they brought into one side.
I'll look it up. You keep going.
But yeah, so they're bringing more games in like that, and people are kind of like, why are they doing why are those 2 games skipping the platform altogether? Now, I don't know if that's because we've started to get more comfortable with the fact that most games are coming to the Xbox platform as well as Game Pass, or if we were just getting greedy.
Yeah, we're just getting greedy. I mean, we now feel like everything. We now feel like we're entitled to every freaking thing that's coming. To be honest. So, it just is, it is what it is. Plus, I think maybe there's a little bit of we got stuff going away. Now we need more stuff should be coming, I mean, not going away, but we have exclusives that are now no longer exclusive. So now those exclusives shouldn't be exclusives either. They should be on our platform. I think it's a little bit of that. But that's okay. And it's Visions of Mana. That's the one that
there we go. Visions of Mana. Oh, that got a lot of excitement across Twitter. So
yeah, I was excited about it. And that's still on my list of possible buys, to be honest. Haven't bought a game yet this year for Xbox, so that's on my list as a possibility. So there you go. But that is the end of our top stories. On to our news bulletins. Pal World hits a ridiculous player milestone in just 1 month. I believe it's 25 million. Is that what I saw? Over all platforms? Yeah, over all platforms. So Steam and Xbox.
5 million.
Yeah, 25 million players.
15 million players on Steam, 10 million players on Xbox.
Yep.
That is an absolute mind-blowing amount of people playing that game.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and Pokemon, I still say, is scratching their head saying, maybe we need to look at something here that we can bring in. And they're going to bring in grenade launchers. No, I'm just kidding. Probably not. Xbox Series X is reduced to as low as £359.99 in the latest UK deal, which is $1,000 American. Just kidding. I don't really know what it is. Don't listen to me. 5 more of Xbox's rare classics are now available for Switch Online. Is this the start of all? Is this what? What are you asking here, Sean? I can't. Well, I'm trying to read it. All getting along. Oh,
we
all getting along.
we always say things like, yeah. So Rare very rarely allow their games to go out and about cross-platform. So like we had Rare Replayer that was available with the Xbox 360, which then carried over into the Xbox One, which you got like games like Banjo and Kazooie, all of Viva Pinata style games. So it was interesting to see those games from Rare moving, coming out of hibernation basically and being struck onto the NSO kind of thing. Part of me hopes that maybe some of those will come across onto the Xbox and we'll be able to play them on the Xbox as well one day. But we shall see. But like Battletoads, Killer Instinct, the original, Blast Corps, 64, and then Snake Rattle and Roll, which is my all-time favorite game as a kid.
It's like your most exciting part of the partner direct, I think. You were like super pumped.
Yep, I was. I haven't played that game I haven't played that game in a hell of a long time. Marble Madness, and Snake Rattle and Roll and Zombie Ate My Neighbors were like my 3 favorite games as a kid.
Well, now they're available. There you go. Actually, I want to play Snake Rattle and Roll because I don't think I've ever played it, and you were so excited about it. I actually meant to play it before we got here. I was going to do that today, but I didn't get to it. But we will, if you're interested, we will give our partner direct thoughts in the party chat here. That's our plan, just so you know. I know we've touched on it because it affects some of the Microsoft stuff. Speaking of our feature story, the Xbox podcast, the official Xbox podcast, which I know you're surprised, it's not us, but it is Phil. And so on the official Xbox podcast was Phil, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty, and it was hosted by Tina Amini, who I listened to like a bazillion times on GameScoop. It was really exciting. I've seen her. She's been in some other like showcase announcements, but if you're a GameScoop fan, you know her. She had left IGN and said she was moving to Xbox to do some stuff. She's, like I said, popped in and out hosting some stuff for a showcase, but I thought that was pretty cool that she got to host the 3 big dogs talking about some really serious stuff. She deserves that, so kudos to her. And so they gave their thoughts on the Xbox state. It's like an Xbox state of play almost, or State of the Union. That's what I meant to say. Xbox State of the Union of like what's going on, what's happening. So the 3 of them got together. The first thing they get out of the way is, yes, there is 4 titles going to other platforms. Right?
Yep. Which we now have those confirmed as well, which those titles are. They didn't at the time. They were kind of holding those quite like holding them close to the chest, but we've now had them confirmed that Pentiment is going to be going to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 and the Switch on February 22nd. Hi-Fi Rush is going to play PS5 as of March 19th. Grounded is going to hit the PS4, the PS5, and the Switch on April 16th. And Sea of Thieves is going to be joining the PlayStation 5 network as of April 30th.
I might be double dipping on Grounded on the Switch. I'm not even lying. I might be double dipping on Grounded. Y'all, you got to give it a try. It is so good. Like just try it on Game Pass for a hot second. I loved it. I can totally see myself playing this game upstairs while we're watching some random show. And it'd be interesting as well because you would be going into it on the Switch and it's like at its 1.0 or 1.1 level because that's you played it in game preview. It's now out of game preview and it's a full-fledged launch. So wait, I say that, but can I do cross saves? That's the thing. Like that's the thing I didn't get a yes or a no on. So that I don't want to have to rebuild my mushroom tower. I spent a lot of time on my mushroom castle, y'all. It can like zip line to pretty much any side of the map. It's amazing. So That's the One Piece. But anyways, moving on in the Xbox podcast, I got a little too into that. I could talk a lot about that. But they did say that it's not. Okay, here's why I think they did this. I was going to ask, but here's why I think they did this. I think that Nintendo locked down the deal to have their partner showcase before these games were announced. They got the right to announce the two that they had gotten to go on their platform. And that's why I think, for some reason, I don't know why it was that they got to do that, because even Phil said, hey, listen, these teams have the ability to, or have their own plans on how to announce things, so I don't want to ruin the teams and how they're doing that. And I think that was his way of saying, we're giving these two games to Nintendo, and you'll find out in a little bit how that's all rolling out. But so I think for that reason, they couldn't say what the 4 games were. But they wanted to make sure that everybody knew it wasn't Starfield and it wasn't
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, exactly. So they got that out of the way, and they're like, listen, 4 games, but not those 2. Community games, which I was pretty sure is grounded. And then some games that he said were never really meant to be exclusives on a platform anyway, which I take to mean Hi-Fi Rush, really.
Yeah.
So, but what people are now, what Xbox community members are now doing is kind of like wiping their brow, being like, whew, all right, Starfield's still here. Y'all, Starfield isn't free and clear not going to some place at some point. It's just at the moment not slated to go. But I guarantee you right now, if they get the right offer to send Starfield, it'll be put on the docket. That's my personal thought.
See, I see these 4 games as a test bed. Mm-hmm. Like, you've got a really good mix of games there that are going away. Hi-Fi Rush, was a Game of the Year winner. Pentament's a little bit of a hit and miss kind of thing. Grounded is a fantastic game. A lot of people enjoyed it in game preview on Game Pass, so it got some good traction and a lot of hype on streaming platforms for people that were playing it because of the how close it was to Honey I Shrunk the Kids, and like the gameplay style and stuff like that. It was really fun, and the multiplayer aspect of it, because we played it multiplayer and it was a good laugh. So for me, they're sending 4 very different games out to test the waters, to see how well they're received on the other platforms. And then after that, it'll just be next after next after next. So,
Yep, for sure. I think you're 100% right. Then the one thing that really made me jump, and I was like, whoa, that's huge. I think it was Sarah Bond who said, you don't need to worry. Game Pass will only be available on Xbox, and Xbox games will continue to come to it day one. Which, the day one thing, sure, I would have been, that would have made me jump more. But there's always been this thought by the community, by podcasters, that maybe you'll get a Nintendo Game Pass that'll have Nintendo-centric games that aren't coming on the platform on it. But basically, they said, no, that's not happening. Game Pass is here and only here, which seems completely different from what they wanted to do 3 years ago, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Phil said...
Yeah, but...
Go ahead.
But is Game Pass as its core going to be on Xbox only, and are they still allowing the cloud-based stuff to maybe reach out one day?
Yeah, that's possible.
They didn't delve into information on that. They just said that Game Pass is only going to be on Xbox or PC if you're a PC Game Pass player.
Yeah, that is a possibility, but I still view this as a total change from what they're. And that's fine. That's business. That's what you do. So I'm not. If anything, I'm cheering them on. Do what you got to do to move with the ecosystem that you're in. But 3 or 4 years ago, it was, hey, listen, if you want an Xbox game, then you get the Xbox ecosystem. We're not going to piecemeal games anymore. Phil said that, kind of specifically talking about Nintendo. And now it's like, you know what? You want a game? You want to pay us for a game? Then you got a game. That's fine. But you're not getting is our gem, our prize trophy, which is Game Pass. That's staying here. It's like they totally flipped it, which is fine. Whatever makes them money and whatever gives them the best future. That's what I say.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting that the body language between the three of them. So whenever they were talking about something that was quite a heavy hitter, like that Xbox being Game Pass only being on Xbox, and like trying when they were going through what games were going to be on other platforms, there was a lot of looking at each other and getting nods of approval from like Matt was nodding to Phil as if to say, "Yep, that's okay," and Sarah was doing the same. She was constantly looking between the two for to make sure that she was staying on the same track. I thought that was very interesting, but I also really like that because I like the fact that all three of them are on the same wavelength. Not there wasn't one of them that felt like they wanted to engage the conversation in a certain direction. So whether that was really well rehearsed or it's just the feeling that they have as a leadership group for Xbox and Microsoft Gaming. So.
Yeah, and so Nia Prime of the dads, the Nintendo dad says, company Nintendo already said no to Game Pass. PlayStation is probably like heck no. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's the. I mean, yes, I think yes, 100%. They said no. It's interesting to see if they went back to the boardroom and said, "Okay, we need to make money. We tried to, we tried to shill a product that nobody wants on their platform for a myriad of reasons, not because it's not a good product, but because it's so good it would probably interfere with their software sales." So then they just went back to the drawing board and said, what can we sell? How do we do this? And they were willing to find a way to make cash off of their exclusives, which I think makes a lot of sense. I don't know how much the community seems to have calmed down a bit. I don't know how much of the community is still up in arms about this, but I don't have a problem with any of this. I think it's great.
Yeah. I'm still hesitant to say that Game Pass is going to be across other platforms, even as a cloud-based thing, because you've got Nintendo that are doing NSO, which are bringing their back catalog of games from the NES, the SNES, the N64, the Game Boy Advance. They're bringing all those. Fingers crossed one day they do GameCube. So they have their own basically subscription service. You pay a yearly fee for this. You get access to extra games which you can play at any time, anywhere you want. So they're doing their own thing. PlayStation have their own subscription basis kind of thing. I know they're kind of well, the feeling I get is they're not completely sold on it as much as Xbox is sold on trying to push Game Pass, but they still have their own thing. So they're definitely not going to want to bring Xbox's ecosystem via Game Pass to their platform. It's just not going to make sense. If you're trying to build your own thing, why would you bring, to me, the more dominant service to your platform?
Yeah, no, I agree. So you had mentioned that you thought it was interesting that they mentioned specifically Roblox and Fortnite.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they went down the element of the free-to-play games as one of their learning experiences and how they're going to approach games further in the future, which then made me think of Halo. And are they going to do like a really big PvP style battle royale Halo where, you like in Fortnite, you've got, the whole racing kind of thing that's going off. You've got the music stage thing. You've got the Lego aspect of it. Are they going to go along with like Halo and be like, right, okay, let's do Halo Royale? And, it's a huge 100 people map thing of all different Spartans or Covenant or different skins for different people. You can just have normal military skins, as well as, you could be a grunt, you could be, all those different kind of things. Are they going to try and do that with things like Halo or even Doom? Because Doom, that'd be so amazing. But doing that, or even just an Xbox Royale, if they could turn around and go, okay, we've got Activision, so you could come in as freaking Crash Bandicoot if you wanted to be, or all that kind of stuff. They've got the licensing to Guitar Hero because of Activision. So, the festival stage thing that Fortnite are doing, they could turn around and be like, hey, look, we can do this with Guitar Hero because we own the licensing to that. Let's figure out how we can do a free-to-play kind of thing with Guitar Hero where people, we do a battle pass thing where you've got to play through it. You've got to get certain scores on certain songs, and you can unlock more, and you can build your own avatar with different skins. We can get different skins for like your guitars and all your different equipment and stuff like that. Bring out whole different hardware with drums and things because they had drum kits in Guitar Hero. There was the use of microphones. There was the use of guitars. They had the DJ one as well, DJ Hero. So you could bring, there's a whole host of different stuff hardware wise they could do, and they could bring it all in free to play where you purchase the controller, but the game is free. And I don't know, there's so many different directions they could go in. It was really loose term saying that they were going to reference in how Roblox and Fortnite worked and how they wanted to further do their games. It was just like, what kind of box are you opening here, Sarah? Because this could go anywhere.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting, and I think that's part of the thing they're trying to figure out, right? Like having Activision now and having Game Pass and having all these things, and they're trying to figure out how to get their arms around it and how to best maximize the gaming potential and the profit potential. And I think they're just like, okay, how do we do this? Like how do we do this best? And they're trying to figure that out. So it'll be interesting to see what they land on and how successful it is. Keeping moving here. They talked about they're looking into the cross-play, cross-save as fundamentals. I think I agree with them 100%, especially cross-save, but also cross-play. But I need to be able to jump from my Xbox to, if it's on the Switch, to my Switch and play the same thing, like with Grounded. Am I going to buy Grounded? Not if it's not cross-save. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to restart it. But if you tell me Grounded is cross-save, I will buy it. I will buy it as soon as it's on the Switch.
Well, this for me leans into the Roblox and Fortnite thing, because you can play Roblox on the Xbox, you can play it on your iPad, you can play it on your Switch, but you sign in via your Roblox account. And that links all of the information across. It's the same with Epic. You sign in with your Epic account. And you link that to your Switch account, you link it to your Xbox account. So you can, everything that you unlock on one thing is readily available for you to use on another. So are they going to go and do something like that? Like you can sign into your Xbox account on the Switch and we will link any cloud save stuff to that. Not the games, just the save files.
What if they did a game? What if you could sign up for Game Pass as your cross save? Yeah, as your cross save.
And so, yeah,
you could totally do that. Be like,
just
listen,
a low price.
Yeah, you can buy it on Switch and you can play it on Switch without Game Pass, without a Game Pass sub. That's fine, I get it. Or if you have a Game Pass sub, then you can sign into your Game Pass sub, and then you'll have the cross save between the platforms. They could totally do that, and it would make sense.
You have to sign up to sign up to a Microsoft account, and we will automatically transfer your save file across because you've gone and bought that game on the Switch. So you've paid money for our game on that platform. So we will give you the ability to have your cloud save stuff on there, but you need to go and make a Microsoft account. And in the hope that one day, they might be able to email you and say, hey, look, why don't you try Game Pass for $1 for a month? And, see how you feel playing this, and then you kind of suck it in there because they got you on the reel. They're like, hey, look, we've got all these awesome games, come and play them. So.
Yeah, I think it's very much a possibility that they're looking at some version of that, but it'll be interesting what they settle on. Okay, finally they announced that Diablo March 28th, which we already talked about, is coming to Game Pass and further ABK titles coming too. People, in my predictions, I missed this by a gosh darn month. I mentioned this game and I said February. Should have said March. By a month. I expect some amount of points for this when it gets down to it, Sean.
Do you want to technically... Okay, so like give yourself half the points because the fact that it was announced in February. It was very close for the announcement. So I would give you half the points.
All right. I'm earmarking this episode so I remember that when we get down to the nitty gritty of doling out points for 2024 predictions.
Phil has come out and said, that they are, what's the word I'd like to use? They have I'm quite tired. They have reiterated that they are going to be trying to bring the Activision back catalog to Game Pass. So, and that's possibly going to include Call of Duty. Or probably will include Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer to bring such a massive title to your service. It's just, I'm assuming that we haven't seen that yet because there is still stuff going off in the background with the FTC and things like that. So I'm assuming that this is going to be something that comes out at a later date.
I know this is not popular to say, but I'm very excited. I waited on this game because I figured it would be coming one of the first games, so I feel vindicated. I know some people are like, you should give the people the money. Well, I did.
So then they also went on to talk about a couple of other things, like 34 million Game Pass members. So 34 million Game Pass members. Your minimum price is $7.99 a month. So that's a lot of pounds and pences, or dollars and cents coming your way.
Yep.
Which is, I think, is fantastic. And that's across everything, PC, cloud, and console. So, that you're going to have people like me that are paying the full shebang. People that aren't paying the full price, but it's still, they're still taking the cash out away from you to be a subscriber. And I think that's great. It's great. It's growing. I think it's the first number we've seen for a while from them as well. So.
And then they say they're the largest publisher across different platforms. Phil says the best way to grow is to improve the experience for the players is to not improve the experience for players they already have, but to expand the brand to more players everywhere. And then the part that I want to get to, because I know we've kind of been on this one a bit long. Phil says hardware is still an important role, which is very important to the Xbox community because Lord knows everybody thought they were folding up and just being a software company, a la Sega. Hardware is still an important role to them as they believe that is where the player has the best experience of Xbox, and that new hardware is to come this holiday. Heavy work into next gen with the biggest leap in technology ever. I don't know. What does that mean to you, Sean?
That to me means that we are going to be, and I have this conversation with somebody at work the other day. This to me means that they are sitting and waiting, and is it AMD they're kind of trying to come away from as the graphics developer, the graphics person that they use. It tells me that they're going to come away from that and they're going to go to a different graphics company because there's graphics cards out. As far as AMD goes, they suck up a lot of power and stuff like that, and that's probably where you struggle. To get them in a box that you can have at home as a console, a decent size that you can hide away, because people do hide them away. I mean, mine's hidden away behind the TV, but there's not many people in a normal home that would have their console out on display. Like a PC player would have their PC on display and they have all the RGB lights and stuff and the fans that light up and things like that. People who own a console tend not to have them on display. They sit in a TV cabinet or they sit somewhere else out of the way. So it's not seen. So to get all that technology into a tiny small space and it still be fantastic and not draw too much power because you don't want to be hindering people's power consumption and costing them more money to be running this product. They're going to look into different graphics card providers and CPU providers and stuff like that. And I think we're going to end up seeing like an 8K when it goes to the biggest leap. I think we're going to go from the Series X that it is now to the highest end PC rig that you can get in a console. And I think that's going to be the big leap. They're like going full. Here you go.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. You've been saying this for a while. This is how you wanted them to go out with this gigantic PC thing. I just don't know that the games are even taking advantage of the current hardware. So I'm confused, like, how they're going to be able to take advantage of whatever this next hardware would be that would be the biggest leap ever. I mean, so I'm assuming we're talking 8K here, which means that file sizes are going to be 55 teraflops. And I mean, it's like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm here to see it, but I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical on what this looks like, on how it plays out, on the fact that game sizes are going to be so large, they're not going to fit on one hard drive, and they're probably going to take 15 years to make. I mean, they already take like a decade. I just don't know. I think the hardware is a mile ahead of the software development, and I think that's the problem at the moment. Like to get a game that runs well and plays well and takes advantage of the graphics and the all the stuff and the bits and the bytes and the flops. It's just like, I mean, look at how long these games take now. I just don't know if that's the leap that they're talking about here. But I'm interested to see what it is.
See, I think differently. I think Starfield would have come out a lot sooner if they didn't have to scale it back to fit on a console. And that you can take that as people can come at me with that thought, but I believe that they hit a roadblock with Starfield, so it didn't hit its original date because they were struggling to scale it back so it ran nicely on a console. I have seen people playing that game on PC, and I have a friend that plays it on PC, and he's shown me screenshots and stuff like that, and the game looks absolute like golden on his PC runs so sweet.
So you're thinking they've already maxed out the software? Or the hardware? The hardware?
I believe, yeah. I believe it's at a point where they are struggling for the power consumption and all the heating and things like that inside the console to be able to run this thing at its absolute true potential, which is why I'm saying AMD is the graphics card maker for Xboxes. I think that's why they're steering away from those, because they draw so much power. Obviously, wherever you're drawing lots of power, you're creating lots of heat, so you need larger cooling. So if you want to fit fantastic stuff in a smaller box, you need stuff that's not drawing as much power, so you don't have to do as much heating, so it's not noisy in the home. People want their console to run quietly, so it's not there like whirring away. Like I play if I played Forza Motorsport for a while on my Series X, you can hear it. You can physically hear the fan whirring up and getting louder behind the TV to the point where I'm like, I can hear that over the engine sound sometimes. And that to me, other than the fact that I had to clean my Xbox out the other day, but that to me says that it's pulling a lot of power to deal with the graphics needs of the game.
All right. Well, I'm interested. I'm here for whatever they do. I'd really like my teeny Microsoft Xbox X, please, but probably not.
I think they're going to make an array of stuff. So I think they're going to lean into the handheld. I know you don't like talking about that much because we talk about it quite a lot, but I think they're going to lean into the handheld. I think they're going to go with something that allows people to stream via the cloud directly. I think they're going to build on the cloud stuff quite heavily. But then I also think they're gonna, because like they say, the best experience they can get is on an Xbox. I think they are going to try and make an absolute banger of a console that people are going to be blown away with. And I think the Series X was a try at that, but it came late in the game compared to how PCs and stuff are running at the moment. I think PCs at the moment are at a stop, and they're awaiting different things to happen in the hardware side of stuff, for like manufacturers and things like that. I think they're at a stop now where it's giving the console market a bit of time to catch up. So.
I like it. I'm down for it. The last thing I'll say, they mentioned there is a June showcase, and that's where you'll learn more, basically. So,
Yep. Which I'm excited for, because I'd be interested to see how the back end of this year is going to look.
mm-hmm.
So the developer direct gave us everything to kind of tide us over for the summer. So a June showcase to show us like what cool stuff's coming out in the year, if there's going to be any new hardware, as well as new games. So it will be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in what this June showcase has, because you say like the developer direct gets us. The developer direct was really through the entirety of the year. Like, I mean, those games are
there's some in fall.
Yeah. I mean, they're sprinkled throughout. That's my point. They're not like the next 6 months. In fact, really, there's only one in the next 6 months, and that's Senua's Saga. The rest are actually the fall, the summer, sometime in 2024 for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll be interested to see what they do in June. What are they showing off? Are they going to show off more of Avowed and Ara History Untold and Indiana Jones? I'm sure we'll see those, but what else do they show in there? I mean, obviously they usually show like 50 games, some crazy amount. So, but yeah. Anything else before we jump off this, Sean? Any last words?
No, I am just, Oh, sorry. Yeah, one last thing. They were on about like backwards compatibility and stuff like that. So they were making sure that people, because they've invested in games and the save files and stuff like that, they were heavily investing and respecting people who had invested in Xbox. So they're as invested in keeping those games available and those saves available to you for as long as they can possibly do it. So I thought that was nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, on to the dashboard. Sean, what have you been playing?
So, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, I would talk about Dead Island 2. I've been playing that. I played it for about 2 hours this evening. Interesting start to the game. You're in like an airplane crash. This isn't on an island, as it's alluded to in the title. Dead Island was on an island. It was kind of like a party island that he was on. So far, I've been in Los Angeles. I'm in Hollywood.
Huh. Okay.
There is an element of it feeling a little bit open worldy, but at the same time, there's places I can't get into yet, because I'm assuming there's side quests and other quests that I need to do to get key cards to get into celebrities' homes and things and pieces like that. The game's funny. I've come across a character that seems like a Hugh Hefner style character, where he was having a huge party in his mansion and everybody got mauled by zombies apart from him as he was picking them off from the roof with a rifle. The skills tree is a little bit different to normal. I don't know how I unlock the card slots, but every time you level up, you just get a new card and you can swap and change them in. But I'm assuming as I get further through the main quest, more slots will be available and things like that. Usual range of weapons for melee stuff. So there's from wrenches to bits of wood to samurai swords to Wolverine style claws that I've unlocked. To play with, you can add elements of fire, electricity, and stuff like that. You can play with different elements, so you can kind of like chuck a big jug of water out and then over cables and stuff like that, and then electrify the zombies. It's a fun game. After playing Dying Light 2, though, I feel like Dead Island 2 is a little bit slow paced compared to that. But Dying Light was a free running zombie smashing kind of game, so very different.
Yeah, and you said much better game, Dying Light, than
yeah, Dying Light. It is. It's not nice to say because I don't like to beat on a game much, but yeah, Dying Light 2. If you want a fast-paced parkour style game that is a little bit dark and scary and things like that, as well as just happy-go-lucky smash zombies over the head, Dying Light 2 is a lot better. You can maim the zombies better on Dying Light 2. It sounds awful what we're talking about this. But like if you aim at a target limb, so like if you aim for the leg, you can chop a leg off in Dying Light 2 quicker than you can in Dead Island 2. You kind of like, I was beating the living daylights out of this zombie's leg and it wasn't doing anything. It was just like taking hit points off. I was like, I want to take its leg off. I don't. So I want to see if I can do that. What I will say though is if you are mauling a zombie with a wrench and you're hitting it in the head, like the skin will disappear from where you've hit it, and then like the jaw will start to flop around and stuff. So the detail in the damage you deal is pretty cool. Quite funny.
I love how you rate zombie games. Like, well, I mean, in the rated of how do you maim this or maul this zombie, that's just how it goes.
Well, I was
7 for that.
I was hitting one with yeah, I hit one with a rake earlier, and it left like a rake mark across its back, and I thought, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Well, all right, there you go. You're still sucked into Fortnite. It looks like.
Loads of Fortnite, yes. I finished the turtle stuff now. I've got maybe a couple bits of ooze left to get, but I have got all the collectibles that you can get for the turtle skins. There's currently a Lady Gaga thing going off, but that's not my cup of tea. It's more Jaya's cup of tea. She bought the skin for Lady Gaga. But I did buy the battle pass, and I did it because there was some sense to this. It was $6.99 to buy 1,000 V-Bucks. I already had 200 V-Bucks, so I unlocked the battle pass, and with unlocking the battle pass, I'm now at 850 V-Bucks, so I almost made my money back. So
I love hopping on your battle pass purchase justification train, Sean. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed the ride. Like, no. Listen, I did this and it was worth it. Okay, let me explain it. I was waiting for you to turn around and be like, see, look, I was over here and then I paid this much and then I did that. And when you divide these two numbers, it almost makes it worthwhile.
Well, the thing is, I looked at it and like the price of skins. So I've got the Solid Snake skin from Metal Gear Solid, which is great. It's one of my favorite PlayStation games from when I was growing up. I absolutely loved the original Metal Gear Solid. So I have that skin. I'm so close to getting the Peter Griffin skin, which is just hilarious.
Does his belly flop when he runs? Because that's what I want.
No, he looks really ripped. It's
really?
Yeah. When I unlock it, I'll take a picture and
Please
show
do.
you. I'll get him to do a funny dance as well.
Please do.
So because obviously playing the Lego Fortnite with the kids, playing Fortnite as much as I have, I had like 400 battle stars, and I was like, they kind of wasted, sat there not doing anything. So I thought if I buy the battle pass and I'll go and unlock all the V-Bucks things that I want. So obviously I'll do that first to make some of my money back. So I've got enough V-Bucks to purchase the next battle pass without having to spend any money. And I'll get into that ecosystem of doing it because I'm playing it a lot with the kids in trios and stuff like that. So I'll keep doing that. And then I'll go through and I'll look and see if there's any emotes, any skins, any like weapon skins and stuff that I want on top of things like that. So I've gone through and I've purchased everything on, and I've still got 200 battle stars left. So it's been worth it. I think as far as buying into a battle pass, this is probably the only time you'll hear me say it's actually been worth the $6.99 that I paid for it. So
listen, I'm just giving you shit. I have bought my fair share of stuff. Some totally worth it, some totally not. So I'm just goofing with you, man. If you're having fun with it, that's all that matters. Anything else? What's on the docket?
I've got A Little to the Left is on there. I've got Plate Up, some more Dead Island, to continue the story and see what other things I can unlock and how many different zombies I can maul, and if the zombies get harder and bigger, because at the moment there's just lots of them. So, and then with stuff that's coming out, I'll probably try Bluey. I'll see what that's like. See if it's funny. See if it plays better than the Peppa Pig game played, because like normally when games come out like that where they're kids games, they're really lumpy and slow and a bit clunky to play, from an adult perspective anyway. Kids love them, but I want to see how Bluey plays.
Good idea. My kids missed the Bluey train, I guess. I'm not sure what happened, but anyways, but I have thought about breaking it out with them and trying. I don't know if it's a multiplayer game or not, if that's possible, but maybe we can just pass the controller. I can just watch them play. So that's on my docket as well. I'm not gonna lie, been crazy week. I played Plate Up. That's the only game that I played, and I only got a few hours into it. I've only played it with children, and I'm here to tell you that if you really loved the aggravation of Overcooked, and you were like, man, I really loved how it made me just like, with the partners I was playing with. Good news, Plate Up has that same aspect. Still there. I'm like, listen, Ariel. All you have to do is deliver the food, okay? I love you. I'm not yelling. I'm just saying, if you could deliver the food more efficiently, that would be fantastic. Please. It's still very much there, and but it is fun in its own like quirky way. But it also is a bit more intense, right? Because I don't know, you want to keep going because the further it's a roguelite in a sense. The further you get on in days, the more stuff you get to bring back and like open up the main map. So there is a bit of, or not a bit, there is a roguelite elements to it. But there is some progression as well. You can get a different map. You can get different restaurant layouts. The first one we got was horrible. There was like a kitchen, and you can put stuff wherever you want. You can pick stuff up and move it. Before the day starts, you get to tell the day when you're ready to go. So you get to pick stuff up and move it, and anybody can move stuff, which can be a bit frustrating when somebody's like, no, we really don't want this here, and they keep like picking it up and dragging it back to another spot, and I'm like, no, that's not how this needs to go. So like the whole thing has like this aspect of just like you have to like work together, and then you got like one child that's like, no. It goes over here. I'm taking it. I'm like, no, I put it where I wanted it. Leave it alone. So, anyways, it was a great dad, daughter, son moment. Parenting, encapsulated bubble. So, that was my
really
time.
Quickly,
yeah.
Sorry, really quick. Bluey is local 2 to 4 player with shared or split screen.
Nice. Then we're definitely doing it. I'm gonna definitely do it with them. Yeah. All right. So Plate Up was the only game that I got to. I didn't get to Little to the Left. I wanted to. It didn't happen. And so now Bluey's on the docket. Little to the Left and Bluey. That's my week right there, folks. I don't know what to say about that.
Sounds nice and chilled out and peaceful. And family. I like it when you get to play family games. So.
That's true. And maybe, just maybe, I'll try Space Engineers, but not before we have another podcast, because that doesn't come out until the 29th. So that's also one that I want to give a go to. So those are all my games. That's on my docket. Anything else before we go to the potty chat?
No, let's hit and talk about lots of other things other than Xbox stuff.
It's party time!
Party chat. This is where we chat about stuff that's not Xbox. We kind of chill out a little bit, more relaxed, which I don't know. We're still pretty relaxed.
As you can tell by my pose.
Sean went for the relaxed.
Sorry, it was a big heavy back day in the gym today, so like the bottom of my back is screaming at me at the moment.
Gotcha. No. I do.
You get zero lumbar support from a wall.
So one of the things we wanted to hit on, because we do play our fair share of Nintendo, is that the Nintendo had a partner direct, and so we thought in party chat we would kind of go over what we thought of the partner direct. This is not a Nintendo direct, so these are not Nintendo games, but they're third-party partner games that will be on the Switch at some point. So the two that matter specifically to Xbox, which we already talked about, Grounded and Pentiment, were on there. Grounded makes my list of games that I'm excited for, which I've already mentioned. Let's go through my list, and then you can go through yours. So, Grounded, a Ranger, which was this very kind of like slide puzzle-esque Zelda game is what it looked like. When you moved, everything in that row moved with you, and you had to like almost like a puzzle adventure game on a slide puzzle, I guess. Epic Mickey Rebrushed, very excited for that. Super Monkey Ball, very excited for that. World of Goo 2, somewhat excited about that. Fantasy Life, need to see more to know if I'm excited about that. Crab Game, not going to buy it on Switch now that I know it's on Game Pass. I had actually kind of forgotten about that. But now that we mentioned that, it was actually, I believe it actually came out it revealed on Xbox before Nintendo as a Game Pass game, I believe.
Oh,
fair enough. Yeah, I think it was like last year's showcase or 2 years ago showcase. Anyways, NSO stuff out now. So that's my list of like, and that's a decent list. I think there was like 20-ish games they said, and so I got 8 that are like somewhat excited. What about you?
So Disney Epic Mickey Rebrushed. I wanted to do that. That was a game that I enjoyed playing for a little bit originally. So it'd be nice to go back and see what they've kept in, what they've changed, and how much they've improved the graphics. I was a little bit interested in World of Goo too. I'm kind of sort of thinking, why didn't the World of Goo ever come to Game Pass? Because it seems like a really simple game to have on there, and would work great as touch controls via cloud on a mobile device. That'd be awesome. I was excited for you for Grounded because I thought if they do have the cross save kind of stuff, that would be awesome, and you would be straight in on that. Super Monkey Ball. So I'm really excited for that because it's a game that I know if I bought, it would be something that me and Lindsay played together.
Oh, fun!
She was a big Super Monkey Ball fan growing up, so that's something I want to get. Like, kind of entice her in. So I might see if there's a demo. I might try the demo and see if she enjoys the demo, and then probably drop some money on the game. Should be pretty cool. And then that was it really for me in terms of like the big stuff, like the sizzle reel kind of thing they went through until they dropped the NSO stuff. And when they dropped the NSO stuff, my mind just melted. I was so excited. Snake Rattle and Roll was an instant win straight away. I used to play that game when I went to my grandparents on a weekend. They had an SNES as well as I had an SNES, but they had different games to me, and I would like take games there and bring games back and stuff. But Snake Rattle and Roll was one I always remember playing with my cousins and stuff like that. So there was a red snake and a blue snake, and you had to work together. You had to avoid the giant foot squashing on you, and you had to eat things, dodge bombs and stuff like that. It was a bit of a platformer and a puzzler kind of game. And I really enjoyed it. So I was super excited for that. And Blast Corps was another game that I used to love playing on the N64. So, you know, those two games being there was fantastic. And then Killer Instinct, the Super Nintendo version of Killer Instinct, was one of those side-scrolling beat-em-ups that like I owned as a kid. I used to play as the little pirate skeleton that could transform into other people and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed that. So they started showing that, and then once they announced that they were available today, I was like, yes. So I know what I'm going to do when it gets a bit quiet over the weekend.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Yeah, so so a Snake Rattle Roll, is that a 2-player game? Like you said, there's 2 snakes.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It's a 2-player game.
Is it only a 2-player game, or can you control both snakes?
So you can play it on your own.
Okay.
And you just have the one snake.
Oh,
or
okay.
you have 2 snakes.
Okay, gotcha. Man, this one totally missed me. So I thought that was great. I was kind of like, whatever. And you were like, Snake Rattle Roll. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, all right, cool. So
See, I played really spurious games as a kid. Like, I didn't get into Zelda really until Ocarina of Time. Mario, I played, obviously, the original Super Mario Bros. Quite a lot on the NES. And then on the SNES, I played Super Mario World, but I was more into the Yoshi stuff. So I ended up playing more Yoshi's Island than I did play Mario. I did Link to the Past with Zelda, but the games I enjoyed playing were things like Snake Rattle and Roll. I dabbled in Metroid a little bit, but then Zombies Ain't My Neighbors was one of the most played games I ever played, and I love that game. And then in the N64, that's obviously Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Mario 64, Banjo and Kazooie. So that's how I started then getting into those like big 3D platforming games. So
yeah.
But then a game that I absolutely adored on the N64 was Glover. So that was a really weird 3D platformer. So.
Yeah, see, I missed that one too. I think I was pretty much a Nintendo guy. Like if it wasn't a Nintendo game, I didn't play it back then. So yeah, I don't know. Or is Glover a Nintendo game and I just totally missed it?
I mean, it was.
Was it? I just missed that one. Crazy. Anyways, so the one thing I did find interesting about this though is like, and I'm guessing this is because the Peach game comes out March 22nd, but except for the NSO stuff, which is obviously out now, like none of these games are coming out. The closest game is Grounded on April 16th. The rest of everything is like April, Crab Games April 25th, then May, then June, then October, and then Epic Mickey's 2024 sometime, which probably means it's not going to be out until next year. So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I just thought it was, but I'm guessing maybe they wanted to give their Peach game some space, which I don't know. As I see it more and more, I'm kind of becoming less and less excited about it. Every time they release a new trailer or whatever, I'm like, I was kind of interested in the Peach game.
Yeah.
But I'll still get it because Ariel's going to love it. So it doesn't matter.
And they've got the Mario Donkey Kong game out at the moment as well, so they don't want to take too far away from that. And the other thing, I think they're waiting on the Switch 2 for any more bigger titles. I think the next Metroid drop is going to come with... I hope the next Metroid drop is going to... Metroid Prime 4 on the new Switch on release would be...
That would be pretty sweet. That would be great. You get a Metroid Prime game and a Mario game, and you've pretty much got you've got all aspects of the fan base. If you drop both
with
those,
with a sprinkly tease of a Zelda game coming the next year.
Oh, that's what about a top-down Zelda game coming next year? Oh, there you go. Because I don't think I don't think they can put out a new Zelda game. Maybe like TOTK DLC, but that's about all they could do.
Mario Kart.
No, there's never going to be another Mario Kart again. It's going to be Mario Kart Deluxeist. I don't know, something like that.
Platinum Deluxe.
Yeah.
Plus.
And it's going to sell 5 bazillion copies on Switch 2, just like it did Switch 1. That's exactly just like it did Switch. That's exactly what's going to happen. And people are going to love it. They're going to bitch about it for like a year, and then they're just going to end up loving it. So, so yeah.
How's the chubby brackets going then, dude? We'll come away from that. Well, how's life in general, but how's the chubby's bracket going?
Specifically, so my weight loss journey, once again, there's 2 weeks left. I would love to get on the scale tomorrow and not be in the 200s. I'm at 201. I started this journey at 218. My goal was to get to 190. I will get there, but not in 8 weeks. That's not going to happen. So yes, I would love to get on the scale and have no 2 in the, as my wife calls it. This is the best. As my wife calls it, Wonderland. So yeah, that's my goal for tomorrow. But we'll see if that actually happens. So, but win the 190s once more, and then I just got 10 pounds to go.
Man, to be under 200 would be nice, but I crept back to 211. As I said, I've crept back up to 211, but my muscle mass has increased. So, yeah. But the increase in muscle mass is my metabolism's unreal. Like, I can't stop eating. I feel really hungry all the time. So,
Sweet.
Constantly.
Sweet.
So,
well, hey, if it's muscle, it's muscle, man. I mean, that's a good deal right there.
yeah, I'll take that.
For sure.
I've still got crap teeth. They're coming out in 4 days, which is making the eating part really, really horrific because there's only so many foods you can eat that are enjoyable that don't require much chewing. So
I get you.
And I'm getting pretty sick of porridge and soup at the moment.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's all I could say. And I won't complain about my teeth ever again. You win.
Yeah. So next time we do a podcast, I'll have had 2 teeth out. That'd be cool. I'll have
See? That's a way to lose weight. Just start taking out pieces of your body. Just have them removed.
How much of my leg could I get away with? No, I'm kidding. So, I'm doing a pretty good job at almost damaging limbs by skateboarding again as well. I took the kids to the skate park the other day. That was fun. I've learned a few things. I've learned how much you twist and move while skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like, I hurt my... Places hurt that I forgot places could hurt. So
it's got to be a workout. I've never been able to do anything on wheels, just to be honest. So yeah, I can't skate, can't roller skate. I can ride a bicycle. Okay, I can do that. I'm not a fantastic bicycle rider, but I can do that.
As proven for me having to, repair my elbow. I can't ride a bike.
Wait. No, that's a different story. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I can just barely ride a bike, like, down a street. You're, like, blazing down a dirt path with hills and such. So, totally different.
Yeah. By blazing, you mean sliding down on my face and elbow.
The friction started a fire. It was a blaze, I'm sure.
No, it's been crazy at the moment. We had a week off. The kids had like half term last week, and then we've gone back into full blown. I'm at work it's my bad week this week, so it's the crazy one where I do 72 hours in a week. Lindsay's back at work. All the kids stuff are back on it. Jaya's getting prepped for exams for college to detect her university selection and stuff like that. So it's just everything's crazy at the moment.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. I feel that same way. If I can get through Saturday, my hope is that if I get through Saturday, all the craziness will be over, and I'll have some, not downtime, but some less crazy time for the at least first part of March. So tomorrow, today for you, I'm taking Ariel on a dad and daughter dance. So, which is it's like this thing that the local community center does every year. It's like one of her favorite things ever. So yeah, we're doing that.
Oh, that means that Becca's going to upload a photo to Facebook. That'd be cool. Secretly, one of the reasons why I had It's very crazy backtrack. I added Nick's friend. I've got Nick as a friend on Facebook, but I also added Nick's wife, Becca, as a friend on Facebook. Because like I love the costumes that she makes for you guys and stuff like that. And I know that she does all the seasonal photos and things like that. So it's been really cool to sketch because we end up really like we barely talked this week because you've been crazy busy. I've been crazy busy. I think I checked in yesterday to make sure you were doing okay. But that's such as life. We as well as running this podcast, Nick does two crazy things in terms of his normal job and then like the whole Skybound drone photography thing. Obviously, I have a job and we've both got kids and things like that. So we have so many different responsibilities on top of all this kind of stuff, which is why I allude to like life being absolutely crazy sometimes, and Nick's is exactly the same. So,
and I am not a Facebooker. So if you're like, well, why doesn't he just? I just don't. I have a Facebook account, and I don't do anything with it. So Sean was like, well, he is a very boring Facebook. I don't get anything from Nick's Facebook whatsoever. So, yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, go like we talked about the perks. Go download Calm, give it a try. Like if it's got crazy, you give that a try, see how you feel. I'm gonna do it. I'm definitely I'm now looking for my phone and making sure it's charged because it's 3:00 in the morning in the UK. Nobody has their phone charged at 3:00 in the morning in the UK. But no, I probably do that. I will probably do the same because I'm gonna have a nap tomorrow for sure, or later today.
Yeah, if I was up at 3, I would be napping for sure, 100%. So yeah, so I think that we went long. We hit an hour and 45 minutes today or this week.
Oh no,
I know.
That means we'll have to have a short one next week.
Maybe that'll happen. All right.
Well, we had a lot to hit this week, which is why we've gone a little bit longer. There's been some great news come out in terms of stuff happening for Xbox. So fantastic that they get up in there at a 10% of overall playtime via the cloud. We had to hit on the podcast that those guys dropped because we couldn't not do that. It was a lot of good news, and with all the speculation that came towards before that business update, the fans were going crazy. Twitter was going crazy. X was going crazy, and it was just madness everywhere. So I'm glad that we got to talk about that for quite a while. And I'm also glad that Patty Chat we got to talk about a couple of things too. So very thankful for you as a dude and as a co-host. So
same to you, man.
So yeah. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, you can. My Twitter handle or X handle is so hard to say. My X handle is probably underneath my face, but it's Sean_Abbott. Nick's is Nick10. So it's 10DOH is Nick Tendo. And if you want to follow our Game Pass Tracker account, you can. That's at Game Pass Tracker. If you want to send us an email, feel free to do so. That is show@gamepasstracker.com. And thank you very much to Bruce for being in chat and Tim. If you want to see Tim in action, you can head over to the Nintendo Dads channel and listen to them. They're currently live now, talking everything about Nintendo, and they will be covering that direct in absolute great depth. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And until next time, guys, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.